Hello and welcome to Kettle Kitchen Sunday functioning chat. I'm glad you're all here. Okay, so in order to understand the whole story of me hilariously laughing in the beginning, I need to bring our guest up, which are Michelle from Big Valley Living and Dale and Lisa from Acre Family Farm. I'm sorry, Dale was right in the middle of telling a story, and I realized we were late, and I was like, boop, 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 pulled them all down and went live. So it was like, sorry, had to go.
I'm like, Tony really doesn't want to hear my story.
He did it.
I thought you were punishing him.
Thank you for coming in, you guys. I appreciate it. Dale, I don't normally do this, but will you help me with something?
Sure.
If you look in chat, we've been requested to take consideration of something. Don Hartwell's son is stationed in Okinawa, Japan. They're about to be hit with a head-on typhoon today. So she's asking for prayers. Would you please lead us in prayer?
Today, I saw that.
And it's his birthday today too, as well. So, would you
like
please
to do that now?
Yes, let's do that,
Okay.
and that way we don't forget it later on down the road.
Well, let's all send a word of prayer here. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today for this fellowship, Lord. And our hearts are heavy for those who have suffered this damage and tidal wave of Okinawa. We pray that Don's son is safe, Lord, and can be brought back to all of us. We pray that your hands will comfort and protect those that are involved, Lord, and that this is something that can be told about in stories without the grief or stories of loss, Lord. Use this in a way to teach us, Lord, and let us learn from what the lesson is, God. God, we pray that this group and this live touches so many people, Lord, and brings them joy and teaches them about the grace and understanding of love it is to be part of your family. All this we ask in your Son's wonderful name. Amen.
Amen.
So thank you. I appreciate that.
You
and wish him happy birthday from all of us, Don, please.
Oh, happy birthday!
So I just want to run through and say hi to everybody. We got Dark Lord Menet, Don Hartwell, Rena LaRue, Rebecca, Suburban Hillbilly, that Big Valley Living channel's in with us. Watch them for me, please. Rhonda, Mimi's Dishes, Jamie's Country Living. And there we go. So,
And Tiffany.
how's everybody doing today?
There's Tiffany.
Hi, Mud. I'm going to be honest. It's like 100 and some odd. And, yeah, we're hiding out in front of the air conditioner right now.
Yeah.
Don't blame you. I think we're all pretty much hit with 90 to 100 something somewhere in
It
there.
is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much
Yeah.
countrywide.
Yeah. Tiffany was going to join us, but she had some things to take care of, so she's not with us, but she's here with us, so that's great.
Oh,
You're welcome, Rebecca. We gave her a reason to quit her pressure washing for the day. So
But that's an opportunity to get nice and wet. Kind of like running through
yeah,
the
but that hurts.
Well, but if you bounce it just right off of the driveway or the deck.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah. So I'm do have a little story to go along with that too.
He's got stories.
I tell my students.
Hold on, I got to start another live. Can you wait just a second? Joking.
oh my God.
Well, it goes along with the pressure washer.
Go ahead.
This is a PSA. So we talk about injection injuries in my classes, which is fluid injection inside of your body.
Right.
You know, it can happen from oil or fluids trapped under pressure. So we were teaching young men about this, and one of them goes back to the dealership and is using a pressure washer to wash up a piece of equipment, and his hands are dirty, and he gets the bright idea of holds his hand and sprays it with the wand, and his hand went from this big to this big.
Yep.
It injected all the water underneath the skin.
Oh.
Yeah.
What made me think of that was not only Rebecca talk about pressure washing, but the day before yesterday, I was at the car wash and I watched someone do it while I'm waiting in line to go in my bay. And I'm like, don't do that.
Oh.
So don't do that, people.
Yeah.
Years ago, we lent our machine. This was the last time we lent our pressure washer, by the way, to a neighbor who wanted to pressure wash his house before painting it. And they had a stucco siding. And I said, now I'm going to adjust it to the perfect adjustment. Do not touch the nozzle. Well, it had several nozzles on it, but we just adjust by hand.
Right.
So he had to get curious, and he put on one of those ones that's like a straight bead, right?
Yeah.
Punched a hole through the side of his house and couldn't figure out how. I'm like, dude. Anyway.
People don't realize they think it's water, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, man, no, it can hurt. I mean, just coming off the cement at the right velocity.
Well, what people don't realize, with the right tool, they drill the ground with water.
Yes. Yeah.
Or they cut through 2-inch steel.
Yes.
With a stream of water.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Carlene Vasseur joined us. Thank you for coming in. Okay, so kind of continuing a little, Michelle, you're gonna make me go get a snack, is what you're gonna do.
I want to eat it while it's warm. I don't like.
I know. I'm giving you crap. Sorry.
It's a shameless plug for tomorrow. That's
there
all.
you go. There you go.
There you go.
So, okay, first and foremost, we're winding up Jarred Up July. Tomorrow's the last day for that. There should be 2 videos that come out. We had 34 channels that ended up putting videos out, or will by tomorrow. And it's been good. A lot of great information. Again, as I said previously, behind the screen. Thank you for the personal tutorial, Lisa. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
And I will be looking into that to let you know. So, and I'm not going to tell anybody else. You want to know, you need to go watch. That's what I'm going to say. There you go. Hide and watch.
That's right.
A lot of good information has been coming out from those videos. One specific video I want to highlight real quick is a certain individual who's sitting next to me on the screen right now. I loved the approach that you put out, because it gave a historical, where do jars come from? Why do we use them? When did we start using them? Things like that. And as much as I've played through my head what to do the video on, I never crossed that bridge theoretically the way you approached it. So thank you. That was a great video. Yep.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun too, because I started looking around my house. Somebody else actually gave me this inspiration in an earlier video this month, because she showed all of her different jars around the house and everything. And I thought, my God, there's a jar in every room in my house with something in it. So,
that's the way we are.
yeah, I mean, I love glass anyway. It's pretty. It's easy to wash, right? And then everything just looks so nice. But
Right.
thank you, Tony. That's nice.
No, I think a lot of the videos that came out were or have been, because there's still videos to watch, like I said, but they've all been very good, informative, different approaches. This is what I use. That it wasn't just your standard, jams and jellies. It wasn't your standard this, that, and the other. I mean, because and there were 3 or 4 other videos that did like-minded, but I was blown away at the stuff that Michelle, the amount of different things Michelle does with her jars. So, and there's
I
others
didn't
that do.
show the gasoline and turpentine that's in the.
And I'm glad you didn't, because I asked that not to be put in the video. So I'm glad about that.
Oh, and I didn't show my hooch. Pomegranate hooch. Oh, man.
Anyways, I'm sure the gentleman down below you probably could show quite a few things he does with jars that are out in the shop or around the farm.
Well, I was just sitting there thinking, I could have done one. I remember when I was a small child, I would go and visit my grandparents, and they were farmers, and I remember going in my grandpa's shop, and he had this like a lazy Susan that used to set on the table, that he had attached a board to, and on that board he took the jelly jars, because he liked a certain kind of jelly. He attached the lids to that board. Then he filled all that with screws and bolts and nuts, and you would screw the jar onto the lid, and it would turn around, so it'd keep it all sorted out.
Oh, wow. I'm not going to bring it back up, but those that got a chance to see it, funny comment in chat, and we'll just leave it there.
I seen it.
Oh my.
Leave it to Rebecca. She comes up with some interesting things sometimes. But again, we go back to what we were just talking about before we hopped on live, Michelle. You get yourself in trouble. All of us do it. I'm not just saying you.
I do.
You get yourself in trouble innocently sometimes, Anyway. So really the thing I'm trying to get to is that we're in a collaboration. It's coming to an end. We have other collaborations that are coming out. And this conversation that me and Tiffany started was more about how to set up a successful, from our point of view, collaboration. Okay. One thing I want to hit on, and it's kind of funny that this was put up here, and again, leave it to Rebecca because she's full of some interesting information. This is kind of where I was heading today in thought process, because me and Tiffany had talked about, and I'm not trying to we're not running through how to do the practice or Mach collaboration. We're just talking collaborations in general. But this is something that I started doing, and I'm still learning how to correctly do it. It's when you send your emails out. All of us sitting in this window right now can attest how many times you get the reply all. You get people's private email addresses, and I'm guilty of doing it because I never thought of it until we started talking about it, how to fix that. And now I'm trying to transition to where everything goes into blind carbon copy, and that's where it stays, because then you keep the privateness of some people's private emails private. Okay.
And another little thing about that, if I may.
Yeah.
At the top of that email, just do a little blurb in bold, not huge, but in bold. This is being sent to multiple people so that other people know this is going out to everybody and that you're protecting their privacy.
Yes. And that's a valid point as well.
And then if they hit reply all, they can do that all day long, and it will never go to everybody.
Which was a question which kind of is why I wanted to hit that in the order I did, was because I've not experienced that. I did 20 years ago, and things were different 20 years ago.
15
Doing it
years
now,
ago, Tony, I sent out an email to that 20,000 people received.
Yes.
So ask me how I know about blind copying, because
and I'll throw out my Yeah, I'll throw out my FUPA thing. When 9/11 happened, I was actually the president of the student body. We decided we were going to send out a notification to campus wide. Well, campus wide wasn't just campus wide, it was district wide, because our campus was the head of the district, if that makes any sense. And so when you send out an email, it automatically went district wide, whether you wanted it to or not, so that everybody was informed of the information. Okay. Not thinking about that, we wanted to show that we were standing together, supporting everybody around 9/11. And we sent out this logo, got it all sent out. And boom, I in 1 hour, I had over 1,000 emails telling me I had spelled, instead of united we stand, I spelled unitide we stand.
Oh God.
Okay, it's not 20,000, but I get the mistake. I get it, and it's too late.
Like, oh my gosh.
Once it's gone, it's gone. There's nothing you can do to stop it, So
Yeah.
in the same regard,
you
Go ahead.
You didn't send out 20,000 pictures of your hooch in a jar.
well, yeah.
That could go viral though.
It could.
Good.
It depends on what kind of exposure you're looking for there, but yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's Sunday. We should not be acting like this, people.
That's true.
Straighten up.
Anyways.
guys.
Anyways.
No, I agree, and I guess for some people, and I can see both sides of the whole reply all. Most people are going to deal with roughly under 100 people when it comes to email.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a majority of people that you are sending emails to, their world is actually in corporate world or business world. And it's not common practice at all to ever use reply all.
No, it's
Because
not.
you are sending sensitive information to other people, whether that be finance documents or confidential or whatever. And so until I got involved with this collaboration world and everything, it wasn't like this big deal. And then all of a sudden I'm like, why are these people keep sending me like their random questions?
Right.
And then when I already receive 100 emails a day from my work, and then 25 for the home business, and then I have my 30 to 40 for the personal emails, and then you add on pretty soon you're like, why do I have to get 15 emails a day that say okay or got it? Or it's like, people, you have to use your mind. There's 2 tabs for a reason. One's reply all.
Hello,
And
Lindy.
so many people though, if their job is not in the business world, they just might not know.
Well, and I think that's why it's important for us to talk about it, because I was just sitting here thinking, as Dale said that, I remember we have a connected text message thing that we go through, and whoever side of the coin you wanted to talk about, and wherever geographically you live, there's variance of times. There's variance of Dale's at work when he's not at work. Lisa's at work. Lisa's not at work. Or I'm not out of bed yet because I'm still 3 hours behind everybody. But the point,
I don't know who would send a text message at like Tony's time,
5 o'clock in the morning, my time. Yeah, I don't know who would ever do that.
Me?
Yeah.
I would.
Anyways, but my point is, and it's more expansive, because we're not talking about text message, we're talking about emails, but it's the same theory that ends up happening. If I want to, if 15 people want to reply to me as the collaboration host saying, okay, I got it, that is important to know that they've acknowledged that they've received it. But Dale doesn't need it when he's sitting in the middle of a lecture at class time, or in a business meeting, or at a funeral, or yada, yada, yada. We could keep going on with the possibility of scenarios. So it's vitally important to remember to hit reply, not reply all. There's a difference. Number 2, when you send out an email and you have a list of more than one person, make sure you're putting their email contacts in blind carbon copy. Matter of fact, for the shindig, I just sent out and screwed that up, but it was already too late by the time I sent it. I couldn't retract it back. So it does happen. I'm still trying to get used to doing that. But as a collaboration host, I think it's good for you to have a mental status that you're at least acknowledging these things we're talking about. So
Definitely.
yeah. The other thing that goes along with that as well is, and it really comes back to this comment here, protecting personal information is extremely important these days. Husband's business is centered around that. Okay, I get that. And thank you for bringing that up, Don, because it brings up similar situation when we're talking collaborations. And I don't have to mention names. We all know who I'm talking about. We have certain individuals that does not want their information out there. That is private information. There are valid reasons, and we're not here to go into the whys and the why nots, okay? The point is, it's been requested to keep their information private. Well, if I'm sending it out to X, Y, and Z, then now I've committed, theoretically, if nothing else, a moral crime, if not a criminal crime, because that person wanted their information protected. It's part of our responsibility as collaboration hosts to do what we can to protect that as well. So, anything to add, you two Windows?
Well, I think you also have to keep in mind, going along that same line, we are all on a platform that Dale might not even be my real name.
Right.
Yep.
But
Valid
through via email or part of a collaboration, you may discover what my real name is. That doesn't mean
Yep.
you get on video or you get in a future email and mention it. You know what I'm saying?
So in that regard, just so you know, and I know you guys play it this way too, because I can tell, and we've kind of talked a little bit, and Michelle, I think we've talked about it before. There's a lot of people sitting in side chat that I don't discuss or divulge what their names are unless they do it. Once they do it, they've opened that door. Okay. But that's like where Rebecca, I forever did not repeat what her real name was because she didn't repeat it, generally speaking, in the beginning. I was privy to it for email information. And so I still hesitated to put it out there until I seen her telling people. Then it was like, okay, she's telling people. Now I don't think it's so much of a big deal. And there's others that fall in it. And there's some in there that still don't want their names divulged. And that's fine. That's their personal
Or just
opinion.
ask the person.
Or you could ask the person, do you mind if I tell everybody what your name is? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So,
Dale, is your real name Mortimer?
My real name?
Is it Mortimer?
Mortimer.
It's Puddingtane. Ask me again, I'll tell you the same.
I haven't heard that for a long time. My dad used to say that.
Lordy.
Thank you for
This
that.
is really why I like Sundays, because it's an hour of just usually funny business, sometimes. But another one was Dark Lord Menet. I didn't even know his name until he put it out there, And there's other situations around him and his sisters that play differently. And it took me a long time to get to understand and know who am I dealing with, who am I not dealing with, He knows what we're talking about.
That's me every day. I just have to look and see which Lisa I'm dealing with today.
That's different. That's a husband-wife thing, and we're not talking about that, okay? So it really comes down to you as a collaboration host and a content creator to try to protect those that are involved, those that are maybe don't want their information out. But it's also the content creators that are not hosting. It's also their responsibility to say, here's my email, but please don't divulge it if you don't want it divulged, just to make sure you're throwing that out there as well. So I'm assuming
we're having a discussion now.
Oh yeah, now they're talking about us, Michelle. If If you guys need a little alone
I
time, and you
actually
need to
went
get
to
off
move my
screen, that's
mouse
fine.
and it clicked. And
I bet you that's what you tell them all, isn't it? Sorry, I'll stop.
I'm gonna get the
Anyway.
vapors. You guys need to stop.
Whew,
I didn't
whew.
wear my pearls. I can't clutch.
I was
my
going to say, if
pearls.
you start clutching your pearls, we're all in trouble.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's another important thing to discuss? Because that's what I'm kind of wanting to make this. We've had this conversation before. I know that, but now we're as far as in our Mach collaboration. Now we've sent the email out. We're waiting to get the emails back, and so that's why the other reason I wanted to have this conversation as well is because we're at that stage in our Mach collaboration, and I think people have to have an understanding as to why things are done the way they're done. So,
I think
anything else?
I think it's really important that, okay, you've casted these emails out, you've invited people to your collaboration, you've started getting responses back from those people.
Right.
Whether you're a Excel spreadsheet person, you're a Word document, or I'm telling you, all of that was harder to deal with, honestly, than just a spiral notebook and write down the names and the email address of the people or channels that are going to be involved.
Yep.
Because no matter what happens, you can always refer back to that.
And I think that's important to make a point. It's not the format or platform you're doing it, it's the job of doing it that's important. Because just like you said, you can always reference back to it. You got a spreadsheet, you got a notebook, you got a binder, whatever it is you're using that you can go back and reference to. And it also helps you keep track of, I'm going to use this term, so bear with this, and you guys maybe can help me with this because you guys have hosted collaborations, so I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Those that are hosting collaborations probably have their own version of a blacklist. Now, don't everybody jump on the bandwagon with the thought process, okay? What it is for me specifically, and this is where I want you guys to elaborate if you have one as well, channels that don't communicate, channels that don't put a video out multiple times over and over and over, ones that are hard to connect with because they don't use the same platform as we do to try to communicate. And when you have a video that's not put out, you're worried about where's the video. And if you can't connect to that person, that makes it really hard. Or there are people out there that have flat out just, I'm not going to do it, but giving you that, and you're stuck with, okay, where do I go from here? You know, or provided an item that wasn't provided for, or provided information that was incorrect. There's so many reasons why you could have a blacklist. Do you guys have one or something similar, either in mind on paper or in your computer, I guess, so that you know moving forward into the next collaboration, I need to stay away from this channel because of this? That's what I'm asking.
Just for me, it's people that said they weren't quite interested. They don't do collabs. I try and think about that actually before I send it out. If I notice that a particular channel only does their own collaborations, I might reach out to them individually and say, I notice you don't do a lot, but your content would be perfect for this. Would you be interested? And if they say, no, I don't, then I do have a short list that just says that. In fact, I just keep a folder on my email, do not contact. And then I put their message there so that I remind myself if I go back, they're not interested. It's not personal. It's just not part of their business plan.
I'm big on if I reached out to you to invite you to a collaboration or to just maybe make a connection, so a future collaboration, and I get radio silence, I'm a one and done guy.
No means no, right?
I'm just not going to send you anything else. I mean, because if the person didn't even respond whatsoever, then and I know people will say, well, it may have went to the junk file. It may have went, whatever. No, I mean, if that connection was meant to happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
in my opinion.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because this is nothing against Dale and Lisa. They have their reasons, and we talk enough that I know what he's talking about. I'm not trying to change his way, but I want other people to think of this for consideration. We're getting ready to start one that'll happen in September. I sent emails out. I'm now going back to people we haven't gotten responses from and saying, hey, just double checking. Did you get the email? There's quite a few of them that didn't get the email because they don't check their spam box because they're afraid to open anything in spam. So there are a handful of people that if it's not posted in their inbox, they're not going to see it. So that's something I have to individually work out with each channel. And I've made the decision to do that because they're channels that usually interact with us, so just keep that in mind. But I do agree with Dale, because there are blatantly some channels out there that are just flat out ignoring you because they don't want to be a part of it. I get that.
Yeah. And I'm also, my communication for my channel will be done through YouTube or through my email, excuse me.
Right.
That means I'm not going to communicate through Instagram or Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm not personally going to send you my phone number to text unless we get to become really good friends.
Right.
So as someone wanting to join a collaboration or someone hosting a collaboration, I think it's clear that you need to set boundaries for yourself.
And I think that's a valid point, because there are some people, and we've all ran into it, that are over eager about trying to get involved one way or another. And it's not the connection of the collaboration. It's this, I want to be close to Dale and Lisa. I want to be close to Michelle. I want to be close to Tony, whatever that is. And it's not for the right reason. An uninvited, unsolicited connection is a big, huge red flag for me.
Well, for me, so it's more of a little, probably more innocent, or more me being hard to deal with, I guess, or not wanting to put forth enough effort. But like I was sending out, the thumbnails and the logos and stuff like that. Well, I don't do email. Would you send all that through Messenger? So then I've got to figure out a different format to send everything out. I've got to figure out a different, and it just becomes a job. And to me, if it's a job, that's maybe not the way that it should be. It shouldn't have to be work. It should come easy.
And I think it's up to each person to make that choice, what they're willing to do or not willing to do. And again, this is my perspective, because I do take what you're saying. If you're spending so much time working on multiple platforms to get something across, now it's become a job. It's no longer fun for you, and that makes complete sense. I do know that I have a couple people that only use Instagram for their communication. Those ones I don't mind originally sending the, hey, I want to know if you're interested, but I'm still going to send the email out to everybody the same, and it should come across the same way. So that, like Tiffany and I have talked about, keeping it in the same format, especially if you have one person that's taking in the information, it makes it a lot easier if that said person is communicating on that level, so there's no confusion. So yes, I agree with you with end result, but I have no problem reaching out to them originally, but the end result is you're going to get an email, and that's how we're going to communicate. So
well, and some people admittedly will tell you, I'm really sorry I don't check my email all the time. If you really need me, do XYZ, right?
Right.
Go through their instant messenger, whatever. Yeah. I'm not a fan of instant messenger, because I think I've had like 5 friends hacked in the last month in Instagram, and it's just such an unsteady platform. It can be fun, I suppose, but it's one more thing that I feel like I have to check every day or whatever. And I'm like Dale. I get 100 to 200 emails a day at work. That is enough for me.
Right.
So, and then I have my phone blowing up with Instagram over here and Facebook notifications over there. I'm like, I don't need all of this stimulation. It's too much for my head.
Yes.
Bingo.
How do I really feel?
I think you just told us.
I agree.
I do. I want to answer one thing. Dark Lord Minute, yes, you are on the list as a yes, so don't worry about it. We got you taken care of. So Dark Lord Minute will be joining the shindig in September with us.
Yay.
All right.
Yes. Anybody else that there's quite a few people we've sent emails out to, so please be checking your emails. We're still trying to connect to a few of them, so I'm going to reach out Monday, since that was the date we put down. The 31st is last day, because after that we're going to start putting a calendar together. So we need either yeses or nos, and if there's nos, then we'll move on from there. So Suburban Hillbilly, you're one of them, by the way. Please check your email and let me know what you think. So the other
lines, I think you touched on, the commitment. People who have committed, say, a giveaway item, or all of that needs to be hashed out when all of this is in process. That needs to be hashed out. Who's taking care of shipment? When will the shipment happen?
Yes.
Yes. All of that needs to be taken care of in these early times of your collaboration organization.
Yes.
Because, as Tony can attest, Michelle can attest, I know I can attest, as that collaboration's happening, things are going to come up that you're going to have to put the fire out.
Right.
You need to have as much of it contained as possible so that you have both time, mental energy to take care of those problems that are going to come up naturally,
Right. Stephanie's just joined us. Welcome in, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
And I think that's another thing, without going into a lot of detail, and I'm not trying to. Sometimes learning the hard way is the best way to learn, and I know for fact, me and Dale can attest to that. Michelle, I'm sure you can to some level. The organization really is the center point of the success of your collaboration. And I know, again, Dale can attest to this, and I think Michelle can too, in one she's been in, if nothing else.
Oh, I still haven't sent out my Pampered Chef things yet. I took them with me on vacation. And every day I was going to do it. Every day I was going to do it. And I haven't done it. Guess what I'm doing tomorrow, everybody. So if I owe you something and you're in the chat, you should be expecting it in the next week. And thank you.
But that's the point. Okay, so there's a difference. Dale, help me out with this if I stumble. So there's a difference between I made a conscious effort to get things done as needed, but life does happen. We all are part of a real life situation. Yeah. And that can make things spread out farther than we anticipated. But there's also 9 months down the road is a little too far. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you want your collaborators for your collaboration that you're hosting to communicate with you, again, I am speaking from experience, then you have to be as willing to communicate back the other way too. It's a two-way street that has to be followed. Okay.
Yes. And I think you're touching on exactly. But I also think for me, if I host or involved with any future, I specifically have taken the stance for myself that if I say this prize that whatever is going to be given away,
Mhm.
It is going to ship by X day
Mhm.
and hold myself accountable
Right.
Mhm.
as well as others. You know,
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
an idea as a collaborator, not to be, and this isn't to be a control freak, okay, but this is just to know that it went out, is to ask everybody at the very beginning, please make sure you, if you're giving a gift or sending a gift, please make sure to do it within, and then set a boundary. Please send a tracking number to said recipient and copy me on it. That way, as a collaborator, you know it went out. I always like to get a tracking number when I'm at the post office,
Mhm.
send it to the recipient, and that way they know they can go in at any point if they choose to, because
And
I
check
still
that out.
go through USPS.
Right.
So at least they know, yes, it's out there because that's a valid number. I actually go click on it, make sure it works
Right.
before I send it to them.
Right.
And that way, everybody's in the loop. Everybody knows that it went out, and there aren't any questions. And I actually got an email yesterday asking if I had sent something out, and I was like, because I wanted to send out an email to everybody saying,
and
I'm going
mistakes
to the
happen.
post office.
And they do.
I'm with Tony. Mistakes happen.
Exactly.
Life happens.
Yeah.
People, I mean, try to have some grace.
Mhm.
Well, and I think Dark Lord Menet says it right here, and I just want to put it up because I think it is hitting on exactly what you just said right here.
Oh, thank you. That is true because it's a lot of work.
Right.
I only
But,
did it.
I'm Gail, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead. I mean, I just remembered that, so I wanted to bring it back up.
No, I was pretty much done. But and I don't want anyone to be discouraged by my
Mhm.
statements. I want people to what Dark Lord's saying, keep that in mind. And I want to make sure that, because the whole point in this functioning chat about collaborations is to help others be successful, if I'm
Yes.
right, Tony.
You are correct.
So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to bring up things that make sure that do your due diligence
Mhm.
so that you don't run into those problems.
Yes.
And
Because
then,
and I'll give it an example. Carlene just put up, she got my email, let you know when her prize comes. I'm still putting prizes out from Jam It Up June. Sorry. It's the way it has went. I won't tell you that I forgot for a week and a half because I got so busy doing other things, but that's beside the point. And then I had to fit it into my timeline that would work, as well as connecting to other people, because as much as Four Jars Lids did donate and is donating in Jarred Up July, they weren't the only ones that donated. So I mean, you still got to play a thing, you still got to do it. But again, all I'm trying to say for a collaboration host is try to be as diligent about it as you can. Get those prizes out, get the emails out, things like that. And I know for myself, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, I've tried to fix my mental thought process around giving prize. We're in the heat of moment, and somebody pointed this out a long time ago on another collaboration, but it applies to all. In the heat of the moment, we're all willing to give something away. To what extent is that causing you to do that, though, is something we don't think about until after it's already said and done. You've already guaranteed you're going to send $200 in gift cards. Where am I going to get the $200 in gift cards from?
Yeah.
You know, you have a tendency to do that. In Jam It Up June, almost every one of the prizes I donated, I wanted to double up. And at the last minute, I was like, no, I don't need to do that. I need to, this is what I can do. This is what I can't do. And so it's a constant battle you play with, trying to rein in what you're putting out, make sure you can handle it, make sure you have the connection to the people that are committed to the collaboration, and it makes your collaboration more successful, I think.
Yeah.
I think we all fall under, and this is me. We kind of get caught up in the giveaway, the prize, and really, guys, I think a lot of us are missing the point of a collaboration.
Mhm.
It's not to give away the kitchen sink.
Nope.
It's to have content for us to all to enjoy, watch together, and grow our community.
Mhm.
Right. The biggest benefit I get out of a collaboration, which I know the two people sitting here with me right now are in the same boat. If I can meet a new channel, if I can get a new idea, if I can make a connection, I've made more out of that collaboration than I ever intended to do just in that alone.
Yeah.
If I get a sub out of it, if I get a view out of it, if I get a like out of it, I'm happy about it. But if I don't, I'm not disappointed by it either, because I've been able to get a resource, a connection, or find a new friend out there that I didn't have before.
I mean, I'm honestly, I'm one of the people that, and I know I've been an MC of several giveaways, and like, okay, there's 45 people in here. We only got 20 in this hashtag. Come on, people, get in there. Honestly, I'm one of those people when I'm watching other people's
It's exciting.
giveaway.
It's
I'm
very
like,
exciting.
I'm not entering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've had a
someone
lot
else-
of people ask me that. How come you're not putting in? And it's like, it's not about me. It's about you guys. Enjoy
Yeah.
yourself. Hopefully
well,
you win.
and I mean, watching
And that's what it's there for.
other, that I'm not even involved in,
Right.
it's just not about that for me.
And sometimes I just go and watch someone's live and I don't do the hashtags. If I don't watch them all the time, I'm not going to go take advantage of their kindness and generosity.
Exactly.
And it's not that I don't watch certain channels because I don't want to, but there's only so many hours in a day. And
I actually mentioned this to another channel friend that I was talking with last week. There's some days that I just want to be a lurker.
yeah.
Right.
Just sit
I
and
want to
listen.
come in. I want to say hi.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. One general comment.
Yeah.
Give a thumbs up. And I want to sit in the background and just watch, interact with my actual family while it plays.
Right.
And if something catches your attention, then you might want to go jump in and hey, that was a great idea.
Constant tag game, the hi XX, hi XX, hi XX, and then 25 people want you to comment back with their channel name or their tag or whatever.
And when you're using your phone,
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh my God, it kills my eyes.
I'm telling everybody right now, the best you're going to get out of me is like if I'm on my phone and I'm sitting there in a live just because that's the only access at the moment I have, I'm going to say, hi, 9. And that's going to be what you're getting. You're not going to get a link to your channel or none of that.
I loved, Robertson Belly Acres that go live on Monday nights. Beth Cornett, BNS Odyssey is their channel. She started quite a while back. If she knows your name or what you go by, she just puts it and uses a certain emoji. Like she uses a flower emoji behind her name. I kind of took suit. If I know your name or whatever and I'm on my phone, I'm going to put your name and say a pig or something along that line.
Right.
That way I'm there, but the whole tagging process takes forever.
It does. On your computer, it comes right up, and you can just hit enter.
It auto-populates on your computer.
So you're going to know typically if I'm watching you from a computer, but for the most part, we put the TV on and we listen and we watch and we pop into the room.
It's impossible to do on Roku. I mean, you don't have that option.
Before we get too far along, Renee made a really good point quite a ways back in the chat, and that was about
Renee. I didn't say hi to you, and I apologize. Sorry.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee. But she made a comment about the communication, and I think that in anything in life, but especially when you're in a collaboration or something, communication is key. It really is, and that's why, like the other day, when I knew I should be sending an email out because I'm about a month out from sending out prizes for the Pampered Chef collaboration. And as soon as my brain thinks it and puts it out into the universe, then there it is. I get the email. It just never fails.
Well,
and the other, I think really, I think that comes back to the Dark Lord Minute comment about giving some leeway. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's two sides of a coin, and please, you guys disagree with me if you do, please. Okay. If I'm doing a giveaway, or I'm part of a giveaway, or I'm in a collaboration, the theoretics of it, within the next 2 weeks, you're going to have your item.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean it's guaranteed in 2 weeks. Okay. Because life does happen. There are things that can't be figured out logistically, financially, whatever it may be. And so you try to work on it as you can. And most of the people, almost everybody that has been part of our collaborations, even to one from a while ago, for the most part, most people are understanding and forgiving, just want to check in, just, da 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 da. You do get some buttholes out there, some, very few, but some, that I want it yesterday, I want it tomorrow, where's it at, how come I don't have it? Those are the people that are going to become a problem. Okay. But it doesn't mean you have to treat them differently than you would anybody else, because they still have an item. You do start becoming agitated at some point if you're getting a daily reminder about something, because you already got enough going on. You do.
You become hardened to it.
You do.
And I don't think that person, when it's been months, I don't think that person's out of line.
Right.
No.
I ask, am I going to receive it? If it's been days or a week, again, we go back to have a little grace. Give them a little grace.
Yeah.
You don't know. Their son could have been in a traumatic car wreck. Their daughter could have given emergency birth to their grandchild. They could have had,
I got a hangnail I can't fix.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm joking.
They could have had something come up at work, something along that. Their work could have changed completely on them that they knew nothing about, So give a little bit of grace there. Now,
on the collaborator side, though, we want to be mindful of being on the other side, being the recipient.
Yes.
You might be super excited about something.
Yes. Right.
And so you're
or going on vacation and you just happen to
forget
forget
home when it gets there, that type of thing.
Right.
You could have had a 95 mile per hour windstorm come through and tear
sideways wind. Don't forget that part. That makes it impactful.
Every time I think about moving out of the big valley, I think about what I'm watching every day.
I was talking to somebody the other day. They were like, "I love your weather. I love it. I would love to live there, except I don't like your government and politics." So it's like, not everybody can find the best situation, right? I mean, exactly. I get it.
Exactly.
But I do. I think the ultimate thing here is give leeway up to a point. When leeway turns into 3 months down the road, I personally do think you have a right to question what is going on. The other thing on the flip side of that, everybody remember, you're usually getting it for free. You're not paying for anything. Usually. Okay, now there are some collaborations that work a little different than what we just explained. But majority of them is the content creator donating it and the shipping behind it. So just be nice about it is all I'm saying. Okay. When I can. Yeah. And Tiffany's right here too. As a collaborator, just email the person and let them know what is going on, and it helps them. Tiffany, unfortunately, was on the bad end of some things and got bombarded by people, and
I think that is again, we go back to Michelle's point earlier. Communication.
Yes.
Clear, concise communication.
Right.
Even if you send out the email 3 more times and say, "Hey, bills come up and I couldn't do it again, or
Right.
this happened and I didn't get it done.
Mhm.
At least let them know that.
Well, then you have a record and they have a record. The both of you have a record. And if there's a third person involved, let them know as well. And then everybody's in the loop together. So
Exactly.
one of the biggest things, and me and Tiffany have been talking about this for what the worth of what we put out so far on the collaborations. There's 5 things to remember specifically for a successful collaboration. Okay. Communication, 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 communication.
Yes.
From all sides of the collaboration. That's what's going to make your collaboration more times than not successful over not being successful. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. You're right.
I just don't like saying the same word 5 times in a row, but yeah. If you run into, as a person who has committed to a collaboration and you run into a problem, communicate with the host.
Yeah.
I've had 3 people that have gotten a hold of me in last month, Jam It Up June, and this month, Jar It Up July. I'm not pointing fingers though, Michelle.
I'm raising
Here-
my hand.
Or Dale. Hold on a second. Just listen to me. Every one of them, every single time, the communication prepared me for what was going on, and I knew that there was an issue going on. Big deal. Fix it however you can.
Yeah.
If you hadn't got a hold of me, and then I'm sitting, because I have one of them that has not got a hold of me for this month, I'm like, unfortunately, if it continues, you're going to be on my blacklist because I can't communicate with you if I don't know
Well,
what.
and so if we have a moment, can I elaborate on like my example? You know, I knew there was a problem
Mhm.
or going to be a problem. So instead of just laying it in the host lap and saying, I can't do this, you know,
Yeah.
instead I tried to come up with my own solution. Reached out to someone else, say, hey, would you maybe want to switch? Can you switch?
Right.
Mhm.
You know, can we do something else? Another time I know involved this very nice person above me. I just didn't even realize it was my date. I'm like,
Yeah.
Right.
oh my gosh.
And of course, I don't want to send you a message, but I'm like, the first thing in my mind was, I hope everything's okay. They
Right.
live in a place that is prone to disastrous weather.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's not like them. So
Right.
I'm going to reach out and make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
And then we communicated. I had another channel that already had told me I'm ready. I'm already loaded up for my day. So I just
Mhm.
said, okay, hey, can you change your start date and give you the later date? And it worked out just great. But again, it all went back to communication. And on my side, I was a little nervous about reaching out, thinking, I don't want to be mother hen, but I'm worried that something may have happened that prevented you. And I was
But
more
I
concerned
think-
with you guys' health.
I think what makes anyone a successful host of a collaboration is that they are fluid.
I
They're
agree.
willing to make changes where they need to be made. You
Mhm.
cannot be rigid.
No.
Because
No,
if
I
you are
agree.
rigid, one of 2 things are going to happen. Yes, it could go off without a hitch. I
Mhm.
do understand. It could also burn every bridge for future collaborations with those involved because they're like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that person.
Right.
Well, and don't you, as a collaborator, try and have something in your back pocket as well, so that in a pinch, we all
Yeah.
do get busy.
I
So
go
in a
back
pinch,
to
you have
the
it.
very first one of these that we talked about, though, at the same time.
Mhm.
If I put for 9 Acre Family Farms, when we host another collaboration of our own, if I give you the date and your video doesn't come out, that's not on me.
I'm
Right.
with you on that.
I gave you a
I'm-
date.
I am so done with chasing channels. I am.
Yeah.
And
There are some channels I'm not going to chase, but there are some channels that if it's out of character for them, I'm going to reach out and make sure they're okay. If
And I think
I
that's
agree with that.
I'll probably back off and just let it play out how it plays out. I've done both.
And I think knowledge also plays into that, how close you are to a channel. I'll give you an example. Like you've talked about it on your channel, Michelle, so I don't think that I'm divulging anything.
Mhm.
But I know that Michelle's going through cancer stuff. And
Mhm.
if Michelle doesn't put a video out because she's supposed to, first thing I'm going to do is the same thing she did. I hope everything's okay.
Hope everything's
and I'm going to
okay.
be saying,
Yeah.
and there are days that are worse than others for you.
Yeah.
And that applies to anybody going through the like-minded kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are reasons things happen. And if you can communicate with those people, that's great. If there's channels that you're not communicated to, well, then maybe you can't communicate or connect to them. And
that's okay too.
I'm in that boat right now. I have one channel that didn't put out. I'm not going to put any names out there, but I'm not going to chase them down. They didn't put a video out for whatever the reason is. That falls on them. My collaboration is still successful and great.
And they probably have a good reason.
And they probably
and they
do.
just don't want to, it might not be the right time for them to talk about it. So
sometimes, just for people's knowledge, some channels just back off YouTube because they're overwhelmed and they can't do it, or a life situation has happened, or something is different. Okay, whatever that may be.
And it's hard to disappoint people.
It is. That's the other thing that plays into that. You don't want to disappoint people. And the last thing you want to do is call Michelle and say, I'm sorry, I didn't put a video out. I don't know what to do. It's hard to do that. I get that.
Or you're trying to upload something and for whatever reason.
It takes 40 hours.
Yes.
Been there.
It's not like the worst. I mean, you're ready. Okay, so procrastination is can be a problem, right? Or life gets in the way or whatever. So you don't get it done until the last minute. Then you have what you think you like. Tony, when I put out my video the other day, finally, a day late, I had the whole thing. I watched it. The program I have has an in and out, and that's how it records. So you type an I when you want it to start and an O when it's over. Then you upload it to YouTube. Out it goes. I watched it. I saw it. I know it was all there. And for whatever reason, the last 5 minutes, which had all the details about your giveaway, was not there. So I'm already a day late. Then it goes up and it's wrong. And it's just the way things happen. So I took it down and I reposted it after like 10 people had already watched it. But that's just kind of the nature of the beast,
It is.
Yes,
and you
it
have
is.
to just kind of take it wasn't meant to be at that point or something. I don't know what to say, but you just have to be a little bit, give yourself grace too.
Right. So we're over our hour, so I think we're going to call it good there. Any final words? Because I don't want to cut you guys off if there's something else. No?
I'm
All
good.
right.
Thanks for inviting me today. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for coming in. Thought processes next week will be back to normal, and Tiffany will be with us, so that'll be good. Thank you guys specifically for jumping in tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody in chat, everybody that's modding. We appreciate it, because remember, without you guys, we don't have this. So we really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, and remember, be safe, think ahead, meal prep with ease, and preserve. Have a good week, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.